To contextualize for everyone very quickly, because we are aware, of course, that there's lack of liquidity in the market now. There's a lot of room for improvement. But let me emphasize the point: it's not just us, it's not just the Philippines. It's currently a worldwide issue. No, lack of liquidity is something that is challenging for most jurisdictions currently. And we are perfectly aware of that, no? Lack of less IPOs this year worldwide, less liquidity worldwide in most stock markets. We can kind of trace that to the Fed, no? And the how should we say, the interest rate environment that we're currently in. So I'd just like to contextualize. That's one of the reasons why we're in the situation we are. Admittedly, there's some room for growth and adjustment as well in this infrastructure and reforms here in the Philippines. Precisely why, over the course of the last year, we have been very aggressive at the Commission in terms of the different initiatives and rules that we have been requiring. And to certainly Chito's point, one of those is the 45-day processing period. We recently approved in August a 45-day processing period whereby any submissions for IPOs and the like will have to be processed within a very strict 45-day period. Our experience has been when some of these things are submitted to us, on the IPO applications, prospectuses, when they're filed with us, more often than not, there are some missing requirements. And of course, there's some back and forth, which leads to some finger pointing. And at that stage, I would prefer not to go into that. The focus now is to just have a 45-day processing period. And so far, some of the issuances that have gone through us, some of the bond issuances that have gone through us, have been processed within the 35 days. So it's not bad. It is doable. And I would encourage you that if and when you do file with us, you go through that particular process. And if there's, how should we say, if there's a problem, please let me know. No, I'd be happy to try and sort it out separately. Other initiatives. We recently allowed, for instance, we recently launched something called Sec Powers. I mentioned it to Jean just a moment ago. That is if you're familiar with EPIRA law, the EPIRA law requires that public power generators are supposed to have their shares sold to the public, around 15% of that company. With collaboration with the ERC, the Energy Regulation Commission, we launched the SEC Powers for public consultation just last week. We hope to implement by November 28. In theory, it will make it much, much easier for power generation companies to be able to list, either list or make their shares available to the public, their common shares available to the public, no, in a more expedited format. Other things we have been doing, for instance, we've relaxed the requirement of the three-year financial statement requirement. We've moved it down to 2. What else about it? There's a lot actually that we've been doing in this space, and I guess the point I just want to make to the public now is that yes, we are aware of the issues in the market. Yes, we have been working very, very hard at trying to alleviate it by trying to create a more conducive environment for listings, for IPOs, for issuances. In fact, we haven't announced it officially yet, but internally we have a project now, we call it the Project 300. What do we mean by Project 300? I know fancy names, Sparta, yay, everything. The goal of Project 300 is that there are currently around 284 to 285 public listed companies. We aim to have target around 15, list around 15 additional 15 publicly listed companies within the year or two. No, precisely to be able to break the 300. Sometimes it's a psychological thing. I mean, sometimes you know that the market, despite all its technical issues, sometimes it's a psychological matter. So we do want to try and see if we can move it forward beyond the original 300, beyond the 300 number. We are being very aggressive about it, and internally, no, not publicly yet, but internally, we've been working out the requirements and the issuances for that.